What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Daily Walk with Lance. This is where I take my morning Bible devotional, I record it and upload it and share it with you guys. Like I say before every video, don't view me as a spiritual leader, pastor, prophet. I'm not. I'm just the average Joe trying to show other average Joes that you can add more Bible into your 9 to 5. That, you shouldn't just be in it on Sunday. That if you'll take 20 minutes out of your day, you'll learn so much more when you're doing it 7 days a week instead of 1 day a week. And let's just get right into it. Today's one that I struggle with, which is it's about authority and those in power. And so this is, as always, we're in the New American Standard Bible. We are in the book Ecclesiastes, and we're going to do all of chapter 8 because it's like 17 or 18 verses. And so obviously King Solomon is the one who wrote this. So it's a person who God put in power and his perspective and, what God wants us to do when it comes to government and power and authority over us. And so this is simply labeled Obey Rulers. And it says, "Who is like the wise person and who knows the meaning of a matter? A person's wisdom illuminates his face and makes his stern face brighten up. I say, keep the command of the king because of the oath before God. Do not be in a hurry to leave him. Do not join in an evil matter, for he will do whatever he pleases. Since the word of the king is authoritative, who will say to him, 'What are you doing?' One who keeps a royal command experiences no trouble, for a wise heart knows the proper time and procedure. For there is a proper time and procedure for every delight, though a person's trouble is heavy upon him. If no one knows what will happen, who can tell him when it will happen? No one has authority over the wind to restrain the wind, nor authority over the day of death, and there is no military discharge in the time of war, and evil will not save those who practice it. All this I have seen and have applied my mind to every deed that has been done under the sun at a time when one person has exercised authority over another person to his detriment. So then I have seen the wicked buried, those who used to go in and out of the holy place, and they are soon forgotten in the city where they did such things. This too is futility, because the sentence against an evil deed is not executed quickly. Therefore the hearts of the sons of mankind among them are fully given to do evil. Although a sinner does evil 100 times and may lengthen his life, still I know it will go well for those who fear God, who fear him openly. But it will not go well for the evil person, and he will not lengthen his days like a shadow, because he does not fear God. There is futility which is done on the earth, that is, there are righteous people to whom it happens according to the deeds of the wicked. On the other hand, there are evil people to whom it happens according to the deeds of the righteous. I say that this too is futility. So I commend pleasure, for there is nothing good for a person under the sun except to eat, drink, and be joyful, and this will stand by him in his labors throughout the days of his life, which God has given him under the sun. When I devoted my mind to know wisdom and to see the business which has been done on the earth, even though one should never sleep day or night, and I saw every good work of God, I concluded that no one cannot discover the work which has been done under the sun. Even though a person laboriously seeks, he will not discover, and even if the wise person claims to know, he cannot discover." And again, that is Ecclesiastes chapter 8. And like I said, this is basically, was it yesterday I was talking about how there's a bigger picture, and we can't see that bigger picture, like God's bigger picture. Nobody can see it, but what people in power, like, what's a good example? Because politics isn't a good example, not anymore. Um, think of it like a sports team, and so you have the person. And when I say sports team, I mean like, let's talk like a semi-pro, or some kind of higher level where you have a person, they're trying to build a team. And so, when you're trying to build a team, and you go and look, you're like, okay, if I got this guy who can catch, that means I don't really need another really good catcher. Like let's talk baseball. Um, if I have a good catcher, you always need backups, but you're not looking really to replace him. What you go on looking for is, okay, now I need a shortstop. And then once you get that shortstop, like I said, you always need backups, but you get that position filled, and you're like, okay, now I need third, or now I need second, or now I need a pitcher. And that's kind of what he's getting at here is, you know, each individual player doesn't know exactly what they're building, because the manager has a broader perspective, and he's trying to build a team where, each individual player, they just want to be the best at their position, or they think they might see a weakness, and it's just, oh well, that's just the best we got at that position right now. I'm looking for more. Like, there's always stuff going on behind the scene that the average player in the game doesn't necessarily know. Um, I mean, how many pro teams do you see some guy gets unexpectedly traded, or an unexpected call up from the minors for a guy? Like, there's always this bigger picture, and it's even in our daily lives in worldly ways. Like I said, with the sports team, or I mean, politics does technically fall into it as well, because like the president or the king or the prime minister, they're looking out, or what they should be doing. They should be looking out for the country as a whole. Or like, in the United States, if you have like, is it the mayor or the governor that's higher up? But then you got someone that focuses mainly on the state, and then someone in federal, like a congressman or a senator, they're looking at the big picture as a whole, and the president is looking even at a bigger picture. Like, at different levels, the picture gets bigger and broader, and there's a bigger plan in place than what you can just see from the outside looking in. You know, and it doesn't even matter. Like he's saying, even a wise, righteous person may not see the bigger picture, and therefore might say something that doesn't go with the big picture, or it's one of those. There's someone above you for a reason, or like a retail store, the store manager is looking out for the entire store and looking at comparing it to other stores in the district or region or whatever. And then you have like an upfront manager who their job is like the cash register and the money, and that's it. And then you'll have like a back end manager that's like over the trucks coming in, placing product on the floor, stuff like that. And then you'll have like little shift leaders that they're kind of like the manager on duty to help give the main managers a little bit of a break. And so, like I said, it's each one kind of has their own thing, and the higher up the ladder you go, the broader it gets and the bigger plan that there is. And so that's what King Solomon's trying to get across here is, hey, realize there's a bigger picture. That there's some things I do that you might think are the wrong thing to do, but because I'm looking at the bigger picture, it ends up being the right thing to do. So that's all King Solomon's trying to get at, is trying to say, hey, look at it from my perspective, look at it from authority's perspective, that there's a bigger picture. And you got to trust that they're going to be looking out for the best interest. And now, obviously, a leader that God has put in place is gonna have favor, kind of like King Solomon, kind of like King David for the most part, Moses for the most part. These guys were all leaders and had direct connection to God, and they took care of all their people. And let's see, I wanted to get a verse right here. Keep the command of the king because of the oath before God. Do not be in a hurry to leave him. Do not join in an evil matter, for he will do whatever he pleases. Since the word of the king is authoritative, who will say to him, what are you doing? So this is basically what I'm saying is, a leader, especially that's taken an oath to God and Jesus, realize that then Jesus is going to be working with them, and there's a bigger picture. Like, that's why he's saying, think of the oath before God, and then don't be in a hurry to leave him, because a lot of people will join in with what's technically an evil cause because they think, oh well, the king or president or whoever is doing evil as well, so what's it matter? No, you gotta, if your leader is truly a follower of Jesus, you gotta trust the plan, because like I said, there's a bigger plan in place, and we all have a part in it, but you got to trust the people that God has put in leadership to guide us. And there was one more verse I wanted to add to this. Or maybe I covered it. Okay, I think that, I mean, at the end, it kind of goes into what's futile on the earth. And it's, 90% of earthly matters are ultimately futile. And we need to, especially as Christians, we should be recognizing that, like I said, 99% of the stuff in the earth doesn't really matter. That it's the spiritual world and the afterlife that truly matters. And it even says there are righteous people that do futile acts on the earth. Like I said, it's not something that one people do, one people don't do. No, we all have our futile acts. Like, but I mean, that goes back to we all are falling short, and we all needed Jesus. Even the leaders, the kings, the priests, even they did. I mean, look, Moses got punished for hitting the rock with his staff instead of speaking to the rock. You weren't allowed in the promised land. God kept him, said, nope, y'all don't get the promised land until Moses is gone. And it's just, there's reminders that it doesn't matter what position you're in, you're still short of the glory of God, period. And that was why we needed Jesus. And I think I'll do it. Like I said, that is Ecclesiastes 8, the whole chapter. All right, y'all. If this is the first time one of my videos, if you would, please drop me a follow, hit that like button, share the video. Do this for anybody that you enjoy their content, not just me, because the way the algorithm works right now is interaction. So, the follow, the like, the share, the comment, all that stuff really matters in the algorithm right now. And like I said, do this for anybody that you enjoy their content, because outside of prayer, that's the best way you can help us. All right, y'all. I got to get going. I'll catch y'all. I'll probably catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.